The National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires that disposal switches be installed at least 30 inches, which is 762 millimeters above the highest point of the sink rim. This is to prevent water from splashing onto the switch and causing an electrical hazard. However, some electricians may install disposal switches directly above the sink for convenience or to hide the switch from view. This may be acceptable in certain cases, as long as the switch meets certain requirements. Firstly, the switch must be rated for use in damp or wet locations. Look for models marked with an IP rating of I65 or higher, which indicates protection against water jets. Secondly, the switch should be installed in a location where it is less likely to be exposed to splashing water. For example, it could be placed on the underside of the sink countertop, above the sink rim. Thirdly, if the switch is installed in an exposed location, a gasket seal should be used around the edges to prevent water from entering. It is important to use a watertight switch plate that covers the entire switch. This will help prevent water from entering the switch and creating an electrical hazard. Look for switch plates rated for outdoor use or made of weather-resistant materials like aluminum or stainless steel. While installing disposal switches directly above the sink is not ideal, it is acceptable if the switch meets the above requirements. Ensure that the switch is water-resistant, protected from splashing, and has a watertight switch plate. When selecting a disposal switch, always prioritize safety and adherence to electrical codes. Water and electricity are a dangerous combination, so taking precautions is essential. Ensure the switch is properly grounded according to local electrical codes. Grounding provides a path for electrical current to flow safely back to the source in the event of a fault, reducing the risk of electric shock. Regularly inspect the disposal switch and its surrounding area for any signs of water damage or corrosion. If you notice any issues, immediately disconnect the power and contact a qualified electrician to make repairs. Consider installing a ground fault circuit interrupter or GFCI outlet for the disposal switch. GFCI outlets are designed to detect even small imbalances in electrical current and quickly shut off power to prevent electrical shock. When working with electrical wiring, always turn off the power at the circuit breaker before starting any work. This will help prevent accidental electrical shock. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to install the disposal switch. An electrician has the knowledge and experience to ensure that the switch is installed safely and correctly. Familiarize yourself with the National Electrical Code, or NEC, requirements for disposal switch installations in your area. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for electrical installations to ensure safety. Check local building codes and regulations for any additional requirements or restrictions on disposal switch installations. Local codes may have specific rules regarding switch placement, wiring methods, or materials. When choosing a location for the disposal switch, consider the accessibility for all users. Make sure the switch is easy to reach and operate, especially for individuals with limited mobility. Think about the placement of the switch in relation to other kitchen fixtures and appliances. Avoid installing the switch in areas where it could be easily bumped or damaged. Select a switch that is compatible with the electrical system in your home. Ensure that the switch is rated for the correct voltage and amperage. Use appropriate wiring methods and connectors for the disposal switch installation. Follow the manufacturer's instructions and electrical codes for proper wiring techniques. Protect the wiring from physical damage by using conduit or other protective measures. This will help prevent shorts and other electrical hazards. Label the disposal switch clearly to indicate its function. This will help prevent confusion and ensure that users can easily identify the switch. Test the disposal switch after installation to ensure that it is working properly. Check that the switch turns the disposal on and off smoothly and that there are no loose connections or other issues. Consider adding a safety feature such as a lockout switch to prevent accidental operation of the disposal. This can be especially useful if there are children in the home. Keep the area around the disposal switch clean and free of clutter. This will help prevent accidental tripping or other hazards. If you have any questions or concerns about disposal switch installations, consult with a qualified electrician. An electrician can provide expert advice and ensure that the installation is safe and compliant with all applicable codes. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity and follow all recommended precautions. Electrical hazards can be serious, so it is important to take steps to protect yourself and others. Installing a disposal switch correctly and safely requires attention to detail and adherence to electrical codes. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that the switch is installed properly and that it operates safely for years to come. The National Electrical Code, often abbreviated as NEC, is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines for electrical installations in the United States. It is developed and updated by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and is widely adopted by state and local jurisdictions to ensure the safety of electrical systems. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It provides detailed requirements for electrical installations in residential, commercial, and industrial buildings. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. The latest edition of the NEC should always be consulted for the most up-to-date requirements. Compliance with the NEC is essential for ensuring the safety of electrical systems and protecting people and property from electrical hazards. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, penalties, and even legal action. In addition to the NEC, local building codes and regulations may also have specific requirements for electrical installations. It is important to check with your local building department to determine the applicable codes and regulations in your area. When planning an electrical installation, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. An electrician can help you understand the NEC and local codes and ensure that your installation is safe and compliant. The NEC provides specific requirements for the installation of electrical equipment in wet or damp locations. These requirements are designed to prevent electrical shock and other hazards. When installing electrical equipment in a wet or damp location, it is important to use equipment that is rated for the environment. This equipment is designed to withstand exposure to moisture and water without causing electrical hazards. The NEC also requires the use of ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, in wet or damp locations. GFCIs are designed to detect even small imbalances in electrical current and quickly shut off power to prevent electrical shock. When selecting electrical equipment for a wet or damp location, look for products that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or UL. These products have been tested and certified to meet safety standards. When installing electrical wiring in a wet or damp location, it is important to use wiring methods that are approved for that environment. This may include the use of waterproof or submersible cables or conduit. It is also important to properly seal all electrical connections to prevent moisture from entering. This can be done by using waterproof connectors or sealant. The NEC provides specific requirements for the grounding of electrical equipment in wet or damp locations. Proper grounding is essential for preventing electrical shock. When installing electrical equipment outdoors, it is important to protect it from the elements. This may include the use of weatherproof enclosures or covers. It is also important to ensure that the equipment is properly drained to prevent water from accumulating inside. The NEC provides specific requirements for the installation of electrical equipment near swimming pools, spas, and hot tubs. These requirements are designed to prevent electrical shock hazards in these environments. When working with electricity in wet or damp locations, it is important to take extra precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. This may include wearing rubber gloves and shoes and using insulated tools. If you are not comfortable working with electricity in wet or damp locations, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. An electrician has the knowledge and experience to ensure that the installation is safe and compliant with all applicable codes. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity, especially in wet or damp locations. Electrical hazards can be serious, so it is important to take steps to protect yourself and others. The IP rating, or Ingress Protection Rating, is an international standard that defines the level of protection provided by enclosures against the intrusion of solid objects and liquids. The IP rating consists of 2 digits. The first digit indicates the level of protection against solid objects such as dust and tools. The second digit indicates the level of protection against liquids such as water. The higher the digits, the greater the level of protection. For example, an I65 rating indicates that the enclosure is protected against dust and water jets from any direction. An I67 rating indicates that the enclosure is protected against dust and temporary immersion in water. IP ratings are commonly used to specify the level of protection required for electrical equipment that is installed in harsh environments. For example, outdoor lighting fixtures may require an I65 or I66 rating to protect against rain and snow. Electronic devices that are used in industrial settings may require an I67 or I68 rating to protect against dust, water, and other contaminants. When selecting electrical equipment for a particular application, it is important to consider the environmental conditions and the required level of protection. The IP rating can be a useful tool for determining whether a particular enclosure is suitable for the application. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association, or NEMA, also provides enclosure ratings that are similar to IP ratings. NEMA ratings are commonly used in North America. NEMA ratings typically specify the type of environment in which the enclosure is intended to be used, such as indoor, outdoor, wet, or corrosive. When selecting an enclosure, it is important to consider both the IP rating and the NEMA rating to ensure that it provides the required level of protection. In addition to IP ratings and NEMA ratings, other factors to consider when selecting an enclosure include the material, size, and shape. The material should be appropriate for the environment in which the enclosure will be used. The size should be sufficient to accommodate the equipment that will be installed inside. The shape should be suitable for the mounting location and the intended use. When installing electrical equipment in an enclosure, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable codes and standards. This will help ensure that the equipment is properly protected and that it operates safely. Regular inspection and maintenance of enclosures is also important to ensure that they continue to provide the required level of protection. This may include checking for damage, corrosion, or leaks. If any problems are found, they should be corrected promptly to prevent equipment failure or safety hazards. Gasket seals are used to create a watertight or airtight seal between 2 surfaces. They are commonly used in electrical enclosures, plumbing fixtures, and automotive components. Gasket seals are typically made from a flexible material, such as rubber, silicone, or foam. The material is chosen based on the application and the environment in which the seal will be used. Gasket seals come in a variety of shapes and sizes. The shape and size of the gasket seal must be appropriate for the surfaces that it will be sealing. When installing a gasket seal, it is important to ensure that the surfaces are clean and free of debris. The gasket seal should be properly aligned and compressed to create a tight seal. In some applications, a sealant or adhesive may be used to improve the seal. Gasket seals are subject to wear and tear over time. They may become brittle, cracked, or damaged. Regular inspection of gasket seals is important to ensure that they are functioning properly. If a gasket seal is found to be damaged, it should be replaced promptly. Proper installation and maintenance of gasket seals is essential for ensuring that they provide a reliable seal and prevent leaks. A watertight switch plate is designed to protect an electrical switch from water damage. It is typically used in areas where there is a risk of water splashing or exposure to moisture, such as kitchens, bathrooms, and outdoor locations. Watertight switch plates are made from durable materials that are resistant to water and corrosion, such as plastic, rubber, or stainless steel. They feature a gasket or seal that creates a watertight barrier between the switch plate and the wall. Watertight switch plates are available in a variety of styles and sizes to fit different types of electrical switches. They may also include features such as hinge covers or locking mechanisms to provide additional protection. When installing a watertight switch plate, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable codes and standards. The switch plate should be properly aligned and secured to the wall to ensure a watertight seal. Regular inspection of watertight switch plates is important to ensure that they are functioning properly. This may include checking for damage, cracks, or leaks. If any problems are found, the switch plate should be replaced promptly. Watertight switch plates are an important safety feature in areas where there is a risk of water damage. They help to protect electrical switches from moisture and prevent electrical shock hazards. In addition to watertight switch plates, other measures can be taken to protect electrical equipment from water damage, such as using waterproof enclosures, sealing electrical connections, and installing ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity and follow all recommended precautions. Electrical hazards can be serious, so it is important to take steps to protect yourself and others. Aluminum and stainless steel are two common materials used for switch plates and other electrical components in wet or damp locations. Aluminum is a lightweight and corrosion-resistant metal. It is often used for switch plates in areas where there is exposure to moisture or chemicals. Stainless steel is a strong and durable metal that is also resistant to corrosion. It is often used for switch plates in areas where there is heavy use or exposure to harsh conditions. Both aluminum and stainless steel switch plates are available in a variety of styles and finishes. The choice of material depends on the application and the desired appearance. When selecting a switch plate for a wet or damp location, it is important to choose a material that is resistant to corrosion and that will not rust or corrode over time. Aluminum and stainless steel are both good choices for these applications. In addition to the material, it is also important to consider the design of the switch plate. A watertight switch plate is designed to protect the electrical switch from water damage. It features a gasket or seal that creates a watertight barrier between the switch plate and the wall. When installing a switch plate in a wet or damp location, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable codes and standards. The switch plate should be properly aligned and secured to the wall to ensure a watertight seal. Regular inspection of switch plates is important to ensure that they are functioning properly. This may include checking for damage, cracks, or leaks. If any problems are found, the switch plate should be replaced promptly. Using the correct materials and installation techniques for switch plates in wet or damp locations is essential for ensuring electrical safety. It helps to protect electrical switches from moisture and prevent electrical shock hazards. In addition to using appropriate materials and installation techniques, it is also important to follow safe work practices when working with electricity. Always turn off the power at the circuit breaker before working on electrical equipment. Use insulated tools and wear rubber gloves and shoes to protect yourself from electrical shock. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. An electrician has the knowledge and experience to ensure that the electrical system is safe and compliant with all applicable codes. The disposal switch is a small but important component of a kitchen electrical system. It is responsible for controlling the power to the garbage disposal unit. The disposal switch is typically located near the sink within easy reach of the user. The disposal switch is typically a single pole, single throw, or SBST switch. This means that it has two terminals and can either be in the on or off position. When the switch is in the on position, it allows electricity to flow to the garbage disposal unit. When the switch is in the off position, it interrupts the flow of electricity and turns off the garbage disposal unit. The disposal switch is typically rated for 15 amps or 20 amps at 120 volts. This is sufficient to handle the electrical load of most garbage disposal units. When installing a disposal switch, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable codes and standards. The switch should be properly wired and grounded to ensure safe operation. Regular inspection of the disposal switch is important to ensure that it is functioning properly. This may include checking for loose connections, damaged wiring, or other signs of wear and tear. If any problems are found, the switch should be replaced promptly. A properly functioning disposal switch is essential for the safe and efficient operation of a garbage disposal unit. It allows the user to easily control the power to the unit and prevent electrical hazards. In addition to the disposal switch, other components of the garbage disposal electrical system include the wiring, the circuit breaker, and the ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, outlet. All of these components must be properly installed and maintained to ensure safe and reliable operation. The wiring should be sized appropriately for the electrical load of the garbage disposal unit. The circuit breaker should be sized to protect the wiring from overload. The GFCI outlet should be used to protect against electrical shock hazards. The garbage disposal unit itself should be properly grounded to prevent electrical shock. Regular inspection and maintenance of all components of the garbage disposal electrical system is essential for ensuring safe and reliable operation. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. An electrician has the knowledge and experience to ensure that the electrical system is safe and compliant with all applicable codes. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity and follow all recommended precautions. Electrical hazards can be serious, so it is important to take steps to protect yourself and others.